The Bitcoin Group, the American original. For over the last 10 seconds, the sharpest Satoshis, the best Bitcoins, the hardest cryptocurrency talk. We'd like to welcome our panelists. Ben, aka Bitcoin Socialist.
Hello, how do you do?
Dan Eve, the Crypto Raptor.
Giggity, giggity goo.
Theo Goodman from Proof of Work Media.
Good evening, everyone.
And I'm Thomas Hunt from the World Crypto Network. Moving on to Issue 1. Issue 1, Mark Karpeles. Once dubbed the Baron of Bitcoin, the CEO of the now defunct Mt. Gox is back in the news again this week as he was found guilty in a Japanese court of records tampering and was given a suspended prison sentence. The sentence, which will allow Karpeles to walk free with time served, essentially clears Karpeles of responsibility for the missing coins. More than 850,000 Bitcoins went missing after the Mt. Gox collapse, with only 60,000 remaining to be distributed by the bankruptcy courts. These coins have still not been distributed. Ben, is this the proper punishment for Karpeles? And is this the end of the Mt. Gox saga, once and for all?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's not the end of the saga because obviously there's all those coins which, you know, the users of Mt. Gox still need to get hold of and then probably flood the market with or flood the market with some of them. But Karpeles himself, I always kind of like thought of the guy as a bit of an imbecile. I mean, he bought the website and then for whatever reason, he kept the domain name. So maybe he didn't even have the wherewithal to buy a new domain name, which was more fitting than, you know, Magic the Gathering or MT Gox. So I think from when he first got his hands on that exchange to the exchange closing and then filing for bankruptcy, it was just a disaster after disaster. But because Bitcoin was doing so well, he was able to kind of hide that. And I can't remember exactly what the story was, but I remember there being something with some coins go missing, which he wasn't aware of before. And then he was kind of like banking on Bitcoin going up in price so much that he'd be able to kind of cover his tracks. So because I kind of think of him as being an imbecile and an idiot who shouldn't have been in that position. It wasn't kind of like malicious, premeditated. It was a very young dude who didn't know what he was doing, and he was just kind of trying to fake it till he made it, and then he just really messed up, ruined a whole load of people's lives. And it's for him that this guy's career for the past 5 years. You know, he's like 33 now. So when he started in 2011. So he was, you know, he's like in his mid-20s. So for the majority of his adult life, he's been involved in MT Gox and just been going from one mess to another. And the large portion of it is him just being, you know, being interrogated and out of court. And I know the Japanese judicial system is pretty hardcore. I think they have like in the article it says they've got a 99% conviction rate. So it's probably not one of the nicest places to be. So yeah, like it sucks that maybe he should have got some jail time. But on the other hand, he's an idiot. Like as long as he doesn't go along and make the same mistake again and build another exchange or bring MT Gox back, which I think was sort of in the pipeline at one point. Whatever, you know. But yeah, I think he's a fool. The dude's a fool. Yeah, I think exchanges now are nowhere near as much of a mess as they were back then. They're still not ideal, but they're not as bad as they were back then. So yeah, so I don't think it's particularly bad that he didn't get any jail time. He's got a suspended sentence. He says had a real ordeal. He's a young dude. Hopefully he'll learn from all his lessons, move on, and do something good with his life, you know, for the rest of it. So.
We were definitely suspecting a longer sentence from the Japanese courts, but we didn't get it. He always seemed like a lucky idiot to me. And then after the money was stolen, maybe he's just lucky. Who knows what happened? Dan Eve, Crypto Raptor.
Hey. Yeah, well, I think I watched a documentary on YouTube actually the other day about MT Gox and Karpeles, and as Ben's kind of saying, it seems like he kind of got in over his head. Obviously, it's terrible what's happened. But it didn't seem like he was, although he tampered records, he probably did that just out of kind of panic and the chaos that was ensuing, and kind of didn't really know where to turn. So he should have come clean then and tried to sort things out, but he didn't. He carried on, and unfortunately, a lot of people lost a lot of money. But it didn't seem it was kind of out of proper malice or anything. It seemed a bit more like a bumbling idiot, kind of in over his head, and unfortunately he ended up screwing things up for a lot of people. I think the idea I thought was quite funny when they said that Mt. Gox was going to start up again. I think that in a way it would be kind of a cool story for crypto if the exchange came back online and did good in the world, and actually became a good exchange and was absolutely airtight. I think that's kind of that would be a success story for Bitcoin. But whether anyone would have any trust in it, I don't know.
But never too late to try it again. Theo Goodman.
So yeah, well, he's already served time, and I think his reputation is pretty much ruined. Everyone knows who he is, and even people might even know who his cat is at this point. So I think that that's punishment enough. I just want to point out that Bitcoin is now forever linked to collectibles and cards, because Mt. Gox is Magic the Gathering exchange. So that's pre-Rare Pepe, pre-Spells of Genesis, pre-Bitcoins. And it's the gift that keeps on giving. We cannot get rid of Mt. Gox. And it's kind of, so I'm glad that, I think he can probably, I don't know what part he has currently in the redistribution of whatever funds are left, but I look at it as, okay, if he's out of jail, he could probably get more done if there's anything for him directly to do to just get this thing along the line. And I mean, what's a worse punishment than having your name known across the world as the guy that really messed up? So there's that. And if it were to come back, then yeah, it should just come back as Mt. Pepe and have trading cards like the original version of Mt. Gox. That's how they could make themselves good.
That would be great. We are seeing that Karpeles did get a new job at Private Internet Access. It's also employing Rick Falkvinge from the Pirate Party, run by Andrew Lee. Interesting character. Interesting VPN service. My friend Jackson was very upset when they hired Falkvinge and Karpeles. He said he was ditching the service. I haven't ditched it yet. It still seems okay, but we'll have to see how that goes. He used to work with Andrew Lee beforehand, probably why he gave him the job trying to help out a friend, so you can't look down on that. Exit question: when will the remaining Mt. Gox coins be distributed? 6 months, 1 to 2 years, or never? Mr. Ben. Gotta unmute yourself. It's a trick.
Myself, sorry. Yeah, no, I think pretty soon, 6 months, but it's what people then do with those coins. Will they sell them, or I mean, because a lot of them, obviously they've kind of gone up in value, but I know they're not getting the amount which they probably put into Mt. Gox. But so are the creditors, are the users of Mt. Gox, they're going to get some of those Bitcoins. So are they going to hold them, or are they going to sell them? That's the question. I believe a lot of them, because they're probably they've been involved in Bitcoin for a long time and they get Bitcoin, they'll probably just hold them. So I wouldn't worry about any more market flooding like we had with the 60,000 coins or whatever it was last year.
Dan Eve, when will they be distributed? And bonus question, will they hold them?
Well, I don't know how many is left, by the way, just out of curiosity. How many is left to be distributed?
None have been distributed so far. So far, they're being blocked by a lawsuit. I forget the gentleman's name, but they had a previous deal with Mt. Gox, and they're saying that they should be paid back first.
Okay, so, well, I mean, if they're going to be paid back first, then maybe they're not going to be hitting the market for 6 months to a year. But whether, however many it is, if the Bitcoin sort of 24-hour volume is 9 billion at the moment, and assuming that kind of slowly increases, maybe it won't impact the markets that much, because the trading volume will be so high. So hopefully that will just get absorbed.
Theo Goodman.
Never. They'll just be used to move around and create rumors so that people can dump on other people and manipulate the market.
Theo, once again, is right. The answer is never. And that's also when the Mt. Gox saga will be over. Never. It will never, ever end. We'd also like to welcome Max Hillebrand. Max, are you with us? All right. We'll see if Max is getting set up.
Yes.
Maybe there he is. Hey, Max, we're going to introduce you on the next topic, but we just want to say hello.
Hi there.
All right. No camera today, but we've got Max. Moving on. Issue 2. Bitcoin futures on hold. The Cboe has put their Bitcoin futures on hold, saying that they will not offer a new futures contract and will let their current contracts expire in March. The Cboe is currently assessing its approach to digital assets. They also reported disappointing low volume trading as a possible reason for their decision. The Cboe's withdrawal from the market leaves only Rivals Futures Exchange CME in the market, with competitors backed and ErisX launching soon. Dan Eve, is the Bitcoin market better off without Cboe?
Well, kind of. When the futures markets came in, it kind of reacted the same way. And there was a chart floating around at the time, which was a comparison of, I think it was the uranium chart. And when the futures came in, it did exactly what Bitcoin did and just totally wrecked it. But I think that was just kind of maybe also a combination of timing as well, because obviously it happened right by the big sort of pump. So yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I think does it reduce shorting pressure? Because there's one less market that's shorting. To be honest, I'm a bit naive on it, but a few people are saying that they're just getting crushed by CME, I think John Todaro. So maybe it's obviously just not proven that popular.
I do think it was an example of bad timing. Everyone thought the price would go up when the futures markets entered, and instead the price went down. But then again, some traders made money off of that and some didn't. Max Hillebrand, what are your thoughts on Cboe?
Yeah, futures are nice. They are a great financial tool and really help entrepreneurs in allocating their resources. And they have been around for a long, long time, and in all different types of fields. So any time there where we have commodity monies, real tokens, or like real, let's say real monies, like sound monies, not paper monies, we can have these futures in order to hedge for volatility. And for example, miners or other entrepreneurs who get their income in Bitcoin, they can use futures in order to hedge for a volatile purchasing power. And that is very much needed. We are not going to get price purchasing power stability with Bitcoin anytime soon, because we don't really need it. It's not a good justification to try to solve this problem on a macro level, but small entrepreneurs can solve it on a micro level. So if you want to hedge against the currency volatility of the price volatility, then you can use futures in order to hedge your positions without necessarily selling your Bitcoin. So if they are really denominated in Bitcoin and done in the right way, then yeah, futures can be great. However, there are, of course, many risks associated as well. And we need to make sure that they are implemented properly and that there is no fractional reserve going on or no other wrong incentives. And that is a implementation question. And let's see exactly. I'm not sure how well they are implemented, but the Cboe is usually a good exchange.
Sure, now you tell me I can hedge. Theo Goodman. Theo.
It's my turn? Oh, sorry. Okay. So, yeah, let's see what they say. I don't know. Maybe there just was not enough volume on their contract. But I'd like to point out that they were cash settled futures. So cash settled future settles in, they settled in US dollar. So you say, okay, the future was price A, and then I shorted and it was lower, then I would get the difference per future. whereas CoinFlex, which is part of CoinFloor, is going to make physical delivered futures where it's only settled in Bitcoin. And I think that's really interesting. And it will be good that the market has not only cash-based futures, which is the same like BitMEX, Durbit, OKC, all the others are cash-based settled and not physically settled. And I think it'll be good for the market to have also the physically settled to be healthy and have another product out there, because then you have to really commit to having, Bitcoin. That's what you really want. You're not just trading. So you're trading, but it's a little bit different. I can't explain it in a short form, but just imagine it's settled in a totally different way. And I think that's going to be good when that is, out and ready for everyone to use.
And the newcomers Backed and ErisX are also going to be physically settled, so that will have a change. Also, for all we know, this is a good thing, and the Cboe is just going back to the drawing board. They're going to have new advertisements. They're going to reach different markets. They're going to target different consumers. If they were dissatisfied with the volume, maybe they need a better plan to get that volume, and it just doesn't have anything to do with Bitcoin. But that's optimism. Exit question: when the Cboe launched their future... Oh, wait, we haven't gone to Ben. Ben, let's go to Ben. There we go. Sorry, added people. Go ahead, Ben. Unmute yourself. All right.
Yeah, so you're not used to having me here. No, I mean, I kind of saw it as quite a bullish statement. They said that they were disappointed with the volume. So the Cboe assumed that there was going to be a lot of people trading futures. So they thought the markets were ready for it, but all those, stuffy rich dudes weren't ready for it. I don't know. Like, I know a few rich dudes, and like they've got a lot well spread portfolios in lots of different assets, and haven't been anywhere near Bitcoin. I even, one of them was even sort of advising me in the last bull market, and I was pleading with him, please buy some Bitcoin right at the bottom. We used to go surfing together, and he just wouldn't get involved with Bitcoin. So I think it's a good thing. Like they've tried to launch this product, it hasn't sold well, which they're disappointed about, and they assumed that the market was ready, and the market wasn't ready. The CME have had more volume, but the volume of the CME futures is still like pitiful in comparison to other futures contracts. I know also that the CME contracts were big. I think they're for 5 Bitcoins and the Cboe for 1 Bitcoin. So that might have some bearing on it. And also I think the CME were offering some sort of discount on fees or something up until last month. So that might have kind of like helped elbow the Cboe out of the market. But I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's just, the market conditions not being ready yet. As Max said, futures are a very valuable tool for the miners and so on. But it means that these people who offer these contracts, like the Cboe and CME, they see value in Bitcoin. They think Bitcoin can provide this sort of package which people can exchange. So the fact that it hasn't kind of worked out this round or through this bear market, that doesn't really matter here nor there. They did say that they're going to kind of reevaluate and then find a different approach into Bitcoin. So they're still interested in Bitcoin. So I don't see it as a bearish thing or a negative thing at all. I see it as a fairly positive thing. So yeah.
At least in the US, the rich are only interested in cheating their way into colleges. They don't have time to mess with Bitcoin and futures yet. Moving on to the exit question. When the Cboe launched their futures, the price of Bitcoin was at an all-time high. Now that they're gone, will the price of Bitcoin go up or down? Dan Eve.
I don't know. Maybe it will go or reduce the downward pressure from people shorting. That's one way. But either way, I hope it's positive for Bitcoin, of course.
We always hope. Max Hillebrand.
It will go down and then it will go back up again. And it will go down and up a little bit more and then a lot. But it doesn't really matter. Purchasing power is not interesting. Money supply is. And that is very stable. And I can predict that. I can verify that. That's much more interesting. So yeah, price, it's going to be crazy. Buckle up.
It is amazing to have a currency where the supply is stable and we can actually prove what the supply is. Theo Goodman.
Down.
And Ben.
Not used to this. Down. Yeah, down.
Oh, the answer is up. We're going up, always up. Did you know the World Crypto Network has its own audio podcast, and you can listen to us on iTunes and other platforms? Check us out on Player FM or something else. Google search World Crypto Network audio podcast. We've got podcasts. Check them out. Thanks. Moving on to issue 3, Crypto, the movie. A new movie called Crypto features Kurt Russell as a rugged farmer taking on the Russian mafia. But this time, the fight is not about money or human trafficking, but Bitcoin. No phone, no email, just $10 million in cryptocurrencies. The film is a fast-paced action thriller. Max Hillebrand, will this movie help spread the word about Bitcoin? And as the Slate article foolishly asks, will it provide an accurate portrayal of the underground world of digital money laundering?
Well, I think Jameson Lopp here put it quite well. Wait a minute. Squints. This isn't a pro-crypto movie. It's an anti-privacy movie with a anti-money laundering officer as the protagonist. So I don't know. I haven't seen the movie. I've only seen the trailer. But from what it shows there, I don't think it's too much of a movie that really conveys why Bitcoin is important. It just seems to be another of these like cop movies that kind of evangelize these psychos. And I don't know. I would much more prefer a video that really or movie that really educates about why Bitcoin is so interesting and so important, and maybe shows also how to apply it. So probably they could have done a better job, but I haven't seen it. I don't know. Looks pretty mainstream, and that's most of the time quite boring.
Yeah, I don't have any hopes for education, unlike the Slate people, but it still could be a fun movie and it looks fun. I disagree with the professor who thinks that everyone already knows about Bitcoin and we should just stop talking about it. A lot of people don't know. Seeing it in a movie makes it much more real. It's something worth fighting for, something worth fighting over, something that has value. And if you haven't heard about it yet, maybe you'll go home after the movie and Google it. I don't know that the movie will even be a big hit or anything, but I think any mention of crypto in the mainstream is good. Theo Goodman, your thoughts on Crypto, the movie?
Oh, I think I'll probably go see it. Why not? Crypto, the movie. Okay, so education is boring. It doesn't sell tickets to a movie. That's why there's no education. Okay, and this is a really good entry-level drug. Crypto, the movie. It doesn't matter that it's inaccurate. It's a movie. It's Hollywood. Everyone knows that it's inaccurate. You know, people are going to get interested in crypto if it's a cool movie. It doesn't matter if there's stuff blowing up and dark markets and people get into people. We have already had the sound money wave. We had the gold bug wave. We had the probably had a lot of still potential for the speculator trader kind of wave, and VC that can always grow still, but we had a wave of that. But we haven't really had, I don't think we've totally had all of the dark market, or it's cool and underground and it's like collectible. I think there's still a lot of potential in the public. People have heard of it, but they're still not sure. And some people are just that slow that they need to there needs to be a mainstream movie out there for it to be legit enough for them to actually look into. And that's just how it is. And I think that most Hollywood movies are not factually accurate about what they portray anyway. It's just part of the entertainment factor. So that means that we're cool, because now Bitcoin's cool enough to be in a cool movie about, blowing cars up and crazy action and things like that. So I think the movie might be good or bad, but I think it's not negative in general to have this movie.
And keeping your criminal documents in nicely organized folders that say kickbacks. Yes, it's going to be excellent. Ben, your thoughts on Crypto, the movie?
Well, I heard that Kurt Russell, that he gets kidnapped and then he just gets put in a room with Andreas for an hour and a half. and then everyone just watches Andreas talk to him and educate him on Bitcoin. So I'm quite looking forward to it. But if it's not that, which hopefully it will be, I mean, Hollywood to me is just a big like propaganda machine. And if they've got this film called Crypto, and it's all about, you know, gangsters and violence and all these negative things, then, you know, that's just CIA or FBI encouraging them making that film, and putting crypto in a negative light. But that has no bearing on Bitcoin. But you know, as Theo said, it's cool. Like, I remember a couple of years ago, if Bitcoin was mentioned in a TV show, we'd all jump for joy. So the very fact that there's a whole film called Cryptos, yeah, it's cool. And then hopefully it will be what I predict, and Andreas will turn up and do a cameo in there for us.
That would be fantastic. The tone shifts, everything goes down. It's suddenly in a nicely lit room, and Andreas just reads to him for an hour, and they're like,
it's just the trailer's just to drag people into the audience.
And the guy that's like chained to the chair, he's like, this is supposed to be torture. And Andreas is like, just wait 45 minutes. Dan, Eve, your thoughts on Crypto, the movie?
Well, I think it's you know, it is cool that Bitcoin's been featured. And I noticed in the trailer that it says, you know, BTC ticker within a sort of a few seconds. But I think we all know it's going to be done in a really kind of cliche way. It's about anti-money laundering as well. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they fit a 10K Ethereum giveaway sort of in there. But I think that what was quite cool, I mean, you know, it's been in Big Bang Theory was another place that they did a kind of Bitcoin episode, which was actually quite funny, you know. But what would be cool, I think, maybe to spice it up, maybe someone should do a tally coin to create a positive film, and maybe like a documentary type film about like a corporate cops thing and storming into these banks and fucking arresting some people for the 2008 crisis. Something like that would be pretty funky. But I don't know. I think I'll definitely watch it. But it would be better if it was like a, I don't know, crypto superhero movie with Roger Ver saving babies and Calvin Ayre saving young dancing maidens.
Oh, not going there. But yeah, it would be better if it had more stuff about Bitcoin in it, if it was better. Like Theo said, it's going to be seedy, criminal, and underground, just like the internet. So yes, this is more like negative mentions, but positive advertising for a currency that has no advertising. Dan had a good point on the Big Bang Theory. I think that leads well into the exit question. What was your favorite film, TV, pop culture mention of Bitcoin? Max Hillebrand.
Good question. I'm still very much waiting for Rick and Morty. I think that would be outstanding. But I don't know. I don't know what the best one is.
All right, let's go to Theo. Theo, what's the best pop culture Bitcoin reference?
I think it was on The Blacklist, and where he was threatening some guy, and he said, okay, how are you going to pay me? And it's not Trace. And he goes, I'm going to go on tour, and I'm going to use a mixer, and then I'm going to use a Ripple gateway, and then I'm going to go back into Litecoin or something, you know, random like that. But it actually sounded reasonable how he was describing it. I mean, you know, it sounded a lot more reasonable than some. I just wanted to say what they should do, or if someone is really into making a movie, you should just make a movie. This is what they should have done to make the movie popular. Check this out. Crypto Connect. So it's like a takeoff on BitConnect, and the whole movie has an affiliate program for tickets. The only way that you can get tickets is through the affiliate program, and it's like a pyramid scheme. And if you're at the top, you have like 100 tickets, and I don't know, just that would work somehow. And it's called Crypto Connect, and they just make fun of BitConnect, and they could have the Russian mob thing in it too, but the whole thing is like related to an affiliate program. That would be really funny, I think.
That would be good. I'd like to see it. And they could really get hands-on knowledge of what Bitcoin's like, as well as the idea that you have to buy hundreds of tickets in advance for a movie that you haven't even seen yet, just like you're buying hundreds of tokens in advance for a DApp that you haven't used.
Fixed supply of tickets to the movie.
Oh, you want to be able to print more ticket inflation. You can have more tickets. And also to follow up on Ben's point about or Dan's point about a cool Bitcoin documentary, I'd like to see the guy that did Vice and The Big Short do it. He's been really good with these kind of movies explaining large economic events, plus throwing in jokes. Like Vice has several false endings that are amazing. The Big Short had, of course, the beautiful woman that explained inflation to you, stuff like this. It was pretty amazing. Let's go to Ben. What's your favorite Bitcoin pop culture reference?
Well, I mean, there was that show, The Startup, which was the first series. It started pretty good. I enjoyed that. But then it kind of got all goofy, and they clearly didn't know what Bitcoin was, or cryptocurrency, or whatever. My favorite mention though was in Silicon Valley, where Guilfoyle says, "Oh, you want to know about Bitcoin? I've got a presentation." And I've done that exact thing to people before when they've asked, they've uncorked the "Tell me about Bitcoin," and I'm like, "Yeah, I've got a presentation. Give me a second." So no, Silicon Valley is probably my favorite mention, and they did an ICO, which was pretty cool.
That was a great one. It took them a long time. They were seemingly late to the party. I wanted them there much sooner. But yes, Guilfoyle. And then he had that growl, that punk rock music sound every time he got a coin. It was like, it was driving them nuts. But yeah, I like that one a lot too. Dan, Eve, your favorite pop culture reference in Bitcoin?
I reckon it has to be that buy BTC guy in the Fed. Like, that was just absolutely epic for me. That's just such an incredible sort of little story, that, and the fact that everyone donated to him afterwards and stuff. So yeah, I really like that. I think it's really cool, and plus I like it propping up as a meme. He gets put in behind people every now and then. I think that's pretty cool. So I'll go for the buy Bitcoin guy, buy BTC guy.
It was impressive that he was right behind Janet Yellen too. Good sign. Nice work, kid. My favorite would be Mr. Robot, especially the very first mention. So, spoiler, society kind of collapses, and he's walking around the square, and there's a guy with a food truck, and he has a bullhorn, and he's selling Bitcoin. And that's exactly what I thought would happen if they had a money problem, you could move into Bitcoin, you could buy it at your local corner store or maybe at a food truck. And then, of course, they escalated the references there with the evil corporation, even making eCoin at one point. So there's a lot of Bitcoin references there. It's pretty amazing. Like Theo said, whenever a TV show would mention it in even the smallest way, we'd get crazy excited. And now we have an entire movie about crypto. So I don't think there's any way this can be bad. People already know not to get their technical knowledge from movies. I don't think anyone's still quoting ID4 or anything like that as real science. But it's a movie, Slate. It's a movie. Moving on to issue 4, Bitcoin bullish. Fundstrat Global Advisors strategist and well-known Bitcoin bull Tom Lee is still predicting good times ahead for the fledgling cryptocurrency, calling 2019 a year about repair, and adding that Bitcoin's technical indicators are stabilizing, with banks, Facebook, Fidelity, and more all suddenly finding Bitcoin useful. Theo Goodman, I ask you, is 2019 going to be a bullish year for Bitcoin?
No. 2019 is not going to be a bullish year for Bitcoin. It doesn't. Come on, we just had the craziest, 2017, even 2016, 2017. That was crazy. You're not going to get, the markets don't go, straight up and straight down. We need to have a nuclear winter. This is the nuclear winter. You have to be able to survive. Crypto is a game of survival. That is what you have to think about long-term survival.
It sounds like the trailer for the new crypto movie, Survival. You must make it. Ben, your thoughts on Bitcoin and being bullish?
Well, I mean, that dude's a Bitcoin bull, so he's going to say bullish stuff, isn't he? But no, I kind of agree with Theo that, I think that we haven't been bled out enough. We need to be really thoroughly miserable before it's going to start going back up. But there is this perfect storm of good news kind of brewing with some of the Jack Dorsey stuff, and the Facebook thing's pretty cool. And we've got this new film, Crypto. So there's a lot of sort of mentioning of Bitcoin in by quite important people. So that could kind of like all form together to give the market some momentum. And you look at the fractal, and we should go down a bit further. Always, the CEO said it's a long-term game. It's a game of survivor. So don't play anything short. Just wait 3, 4, 5 years, pick a position, and then keep that for 3, 4, 5 years, or just don't get involved. But no, if you're willing to do that, then yeah, I think Bitcoin is going to go up. But I think it's 50-50. Either it's going to carry on going down and maybe hit like $1,500 or something, or all this good news is going to come together and it's going to give it some uplift, and then we're going to have another bull run. It's all going to happen quite suddenly. So yeah, just hodl on and look long term. Look at the fractals. Look at all the previous fractal patterns, and then blow it up, and then look where we are now, and decide whether you want to stay in the market or not.
Well, I've been delightfully miserable, but the new MAD tour is starting again, and the price has historically risen whenever MAD Bitcoins travels. Dan, Eve, your thoughts on Bitcoin being bullish?
Well, I think that I'd love Bitcoin to have a little bullish year for 2019. But I also think that being a bit sideways is actually a good thing. It needs to be a bit longer for the people that got burnt, who actually want to dip their toes into the water. And there needs to be some fresh meat to really drive the rally. But there's still the Lucid investments and their hyperwave theory that says that Bitcoin can go down to $1,800 and potentially lower. So and there's still, I think, there's a bit of a mixed bag of bullishness and bearishness. So I kind of I definitely want it to pump, but I'm not too sure. But in terms of like the infrastructure that's being put in place, I mean, it's been a crazy busy year for Bitcoin, and things like Lightning's nearly 4,000 nodes, 37,000 channels, nearly 1,000 Bitcoin on there. So this is infrastructure that's going to be helping Bitcoin and help it really start to reach the masses once it can be considered for fast payments as well, get over that kind of hurdle so that people can't sort of critique that part. So there's a lot of positive things going on in the background, and yeah, Bitcoin would be great if it pumps, but also I think a bit of sideways action and kind of consolidation might help it. But the volumes are up. I mean, volume 24-hour volumes just over 9 billion. Which is actually, it's been picking up since over the last since actually the beginning of the year. It was around 5-ish billion for between 5 and 5.5 billion. And it's now sort of roughly 9 billion the last sort of least week. So I reckon it could be, gearing up for a bit of a launch pad for the halvening.
Well, the hyperwavers promised me 1,000, but now they're saying 1,500. Maybe they need to double check those charts. Maybe they don't say what they think they say. Max Hillebrand, is Bitcoin bullish?
Well, the price is going to be crazy, that's for sure. And the tech is going to be bullish as hell. Both on-chain and off-chain, we're going to have so many improvements to the technology, and so many more use cases will be developed out of that. And I mean, the main thing will be Schnorr signatures on the main chain. And that is coming in just 2 weeks. And implementations are already being written. So it really is taking shape. And Schnorr signatures are going to bring a lot of privacy and scalability to Bitcoin with like crazy schemes like Taproot or Graftroot, and can make CoinJoin transactions and stuff much more efficient. So that is going to be a great change. And then together with that, SIG hash no input for more advanced Lightning Network features. And many more efficiencies are to be gained with something like L2 as a new update mechanism. And then with Lightning Network in general, like rendezvous routing, atomic multipath payments, all the crazy stuff that is currently being developed and just around the corner. It's going to be crazy on how efficient we can get this tool and how much better we can make it with such upgrades. And it's still reckless as hell. So bullish, absolutely. Not on the price, but on the usability of this awesome tool.
All right, moving on to the exit question. The price of Bitcoin this time next week, higher or lower? Theo Goodman.
Lower.
Ben.
Lower.
Dan Eve.
Higher! BTC!
Max Hillebrand.
Exactly the same as it is right now.
Oh,
means hodl
push.
on.
The worst of all possible predictions. The price is going higher because it always goes higher. Also, last week I told you about Stellar. It was at 7 cents. It went to 11 cents. How do you like that? Free money. Moving on to predictions or story of the week. Ben, are you ready with a prediction or a story of the week?
Yeah, I mean, so I just thought about this just now. Actually, it's the Lightning mainnet birthday today. So Lightning went live on the mainnet a year ago today, on the 15th of March. That's pretty cool. And as what Max was saying, that technology-wise, it's Bitcoin's fantastic. It's very bullish. So technology leads, and then price eventually follows. So, but no, I mean, we had so obviously I'm in Wales. And then we had Bit Einigog. He took the lightning torch for Wales, which is pretty cool. So that was good. I think that may have been last week though, so I might be cheating there. But no, that's pretty much it really. Yeah, nothing else really going on. Oh, I have been working on some cool new tutorials which I'll be bringing out in a couple of days. One of them's on mesh networks, and that's really exciting. So I'm looking forward to exploring that, and then some of the implications of the mesh network I've been working on are pretty cool. So hopefully someone will be able to take what I've done, because I'm an idiot, and then evolve it into something more worthwhile. And so hopefully, yeah. So the prediction is I'm going to be releasing that tutorial, and then hopefully people find it useful.
Very cool. And you can check out those tutorials right here on the World Crypto Network. Subscribe down below. I would say, what was I going to say? Oh, happy birthday to the Lightning Network. A year already. Oh, you don't even look a year old. Dan Eve, a prediction or a story of the week.
They grow up so fast, don't they? Okay, so a few predictions. I'm gonna rock a few things here. So I predict that Brexit will still be a mess. I predict there'll be another stupid article about Bitcoin mining, possibly this time about how it's warming the entire solar system, and also it's impacting on the cosmic microwave background. And also I predict, because I'm, if you don't know already, I'm working on a platform called Triple Hotels, which is accepting crypto for 1.6 million hotels, and we've actually been testing it at the moment. So we've booked hotels with Bitcoin, with Lightning, with Ethereum, with there was a Decred one yesterday, but there was an issue with that one. But we are ironing out all these tiny little issues, and so my prediction is that Tricky will go live hopefully before the next Bitcoin group show. And then you will be able to finally go to conferences and pay for your hotel in crypto, because I've never been able to do that, and I wish I had over the last couple of years, because it just drained my fiat going to all these like cool conferences. So yeah, 1.6 billion hotels available in crypto. Thanks.
Hotels in crypto. That sounds cool. Max Hillebrand, go ahead.
We are going to have a perfectly private Chaumian eCash on the second or third layer, either on top of the Lightning Network or itself, or with Bitcoin multi-signature. and we will have a easy medium of exchange that will be completely private. Bold prediction, but seeing how reckless we are building the current Lightning Network implementation and how crazily private focused is already, we can do even better, and we will do so. And yes, we might have the 1-year anniversary of Lightning Network, but those couple of few reckless peers who were live on mainnet before then, they will be the same reckless peers who will build out these awesome privacy-preserving tools.
Theo Goodman.
Get tricky with it. Okay, I've got some, I'm going to just hog up as much time as possible here. So the first story of the week is Frankfurt Eintracht beating Inter Milan in Europa League. And now Frankfurt Eintracht is in the quarterfinals of the Europa League. That is a pretty huge deal. The final 8 teams. So watch out, everyone. That's could be, they face now Beneficia. It'll be tough, but it's doable. It's pretty good that they didn't get the draw against Chelsea, honestly, to face them right now. But that's going to be interesting. That's definitely a story of the week. Prediction is CoinFest is going to be really cool. So everyone should go. CoinFestuk.org is the website, and you should go there. And that's it.
Definitely want to give a shout out to CoinFest, and wanted to say that we'll probably be doing this same very show in just a couple of weeks live in the UK at Manchester at CoinFest. So this is pretty cool. We have pretty much the same cast right here that we'll have at CoinFest. So if you want to go to CoinFest, if you're in the UK, you want to go to Manchester, come meet us. It's a free conference. It's a multi-day. They have lots of exhibitors. You can learn about Bitcoin and other things if you want. It's up to you. It's going to be a good conference. It's in the UK. I want to give a shout out to everyone that's going to be there in the UK. I'm going to hang out with everyone here, Ben and Dan and Max and Theo and everybody else. Looking forward to hanging out with you. If you want to volunteer your castle or your couch, we're accepting offers for either. We're also taking Bitcoin donations. We want to give a shout out to our only Bitcoin donation so far, 0.00515768. So if you want to donate to my trip to the UK, you can scan the QR code right here. I'm going to be doing lots of interviews, and I'm going to be bringing them back for you here on the World Crypto Network, where they'll be presented for free. So if you want to watch the free interviews, but you want to help me pay for the travel and all the other stuff that it takes to get those interviews to you for free, you could go ahead and pause the video right now. You could go get your Bitcoin wallet. You could go get your Trezor or your Ledger, and you could put in all your codes and your keys and whatever you have to do to get to your Bitcoin. Or maybe you just keep a couple $100 of Bitcoin around for donations. But we really appreciate your donations, and I look forward to seeing everybody in the UK and meeting everybody. I've got stickers and business cards, hopefully arriving right now today, hopefully in time. But it's going to be great. We're going to have a great time in the UK. I'm going to go see castles with Ben and Dan, maybe Stonehenge, all kinds of stuff. It's going to be great. So thanks to everybody for watching. Be sure to give us a thumbs up. That helps more people find this show on YouTube. Last week, we got over 100 thumbs up, and we got 1,000 views. So that was pretty cool if we could do that again. But thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe. And until next time, bye-bye.